here I was doing some swatching. Oh, this is the Daniel Smith series, which I started, the Primatech series, and then the big scandal happened and I just never went back to that series. I don't know, I just didn't feel like it, but I might restart that series at some point, because simply I do have Primatechs and I would want to, you know, use them up before they dry up on me. They cost a lot of money, but I would not repurchase the Primatechs personally. That's my personal opinion, and I'm not asking anyone to join in with me on that. You have your own opinion on that. And yeah, so the leftover paints, I felt bad on kind of just washing it down the drain, so I used up as much as I could to create these swatches, and the idea was that I'll just flip through and, you know, just do a bit of face illustrating and maybe discover some different styles. This sort of thing is a good idea to do when you are planning to go somewhere, like travel somewhere or just away for the weekend. If you know that you will have time to illustrate, just create some blobs in your like little sketchbook and take it with you, so you already have something to work on. You could also use other mediums. Like recently I have really been enjoying the acrylic gouache by Holbein, and so, you know, you could just create little swatches like that and have something you already have laid on the page, and then you just need to doodle, etc. So that means you need to take less with you. So in this case I would just need to take a bunch of pencils and a couple of maybe, you know, fine line pens with me to do the detail. But that's it. I mean, that would save a lot of things on packing. It would restrict you a little bit in what you wanted to paint. So if you wanted to paint flowers or something, obviously that probably wouldn't work. But something like that, if you know that you just want to sit down and draw or illustrate some faces, that's a really good idea to do. Yeah. So what I tend to do actually these days is in the evening when I'm editing a video or something, I just lay down the gouache. I've done it here, like here and there. And next day when I'm like editing or working on my desk or waiting for something to be saved, which takes forever on the computer, then I have some time to just start illustrating and don't need to, you know, wait for paint to dry because it's already been done a night before. So that's a fun little tip I could share with you. And some more illustrating here. Now these are all of my palettes. This was the first, Lip and Cheek, Earthy Tones, and then this is the latest one, Tropical palette. And yeah, so here you might wonder, and I haven't yet officially said it, but I think it's time. I will be doing a launch video, but just to give you the heads up, there is 2 new stamp sets coming to my Etsy shop soon, and one of them has these lovely kind of swatch stamps, and we'll get to it in a second, so you'll be able to see more. This is just the continuation with more of the swatches, and here again are some of the stamp sets. So they're great for just neatly playing with your swatches in your sketchbook. This is what I really like doing anyway. I kind of find it looks a bit messy when it's just like that. This gives me more satisfaction. It feels more organized and more neat. So here we have another mixed media piece. This was actually quite interesting because I went through, May was a quite difficult and very stressful month that it just came out of nowhere, and the entire month was pretty heavy load. And so I completely lost my art inspiration. I find that stress really does affect my art mojo, and so this was just purely sitting down and trying, in a really kind of out of frustration, trying to find my own enjoyment in creating art. And so I picked things that I thought I enjoyed working with, so art supplies, particular art supplies like acrylic inks and Ecoline watercolors, some Museum Aquarelle water soluble or watercolor pencils, and some Caran d'Ache, and just do create like marks and let them blend in. And I wasn't worried about creating mess or ugly things. I was just going for it and thinking, I don't know what will happen if I blend those two mediums together. Let's just go for it and, you know, see what happens. And that was a good breakthrough that led me back into my creative enjoyment. And so I've taken some of those elements into illustration and just carried on with it from then onwards, and it's been quite fun. Yeah, so here we go. Here you can see a bit more from my this is the, what is it called? Shall I just show it to you? All right, I have one here which I already used, so it's got a bit of ink on there, but this is the color theory, and you have 7 elements in here, and that's what you can create. Where is it gone now? So you have this mini color wheel. So this one has been requested so many times because it's a very small color wheel, and it's so easy to take with you when you're going somewhere. It doesn't take much space, and you can just create. That's the other thing that I would recommend. If you want to do some sort of creative work when you're away, a good thing to do would be just either stamp ahead these and take some watercolors, but you would just take the entire set. It's quite thin and slim and weightless, so you could just paint or create different color combinations and just discover your secondaries that could be quite, you know, enjoyable in your art when you get back home. For instance, you already would have done some sort of work towards a project, for instance. Okay, so this is that. So that's the actual size here. You can see it would work really well in like a A5 sketchbook, even smaller if you wanted to. And that wasn't A5, I think that was B6, but do I have an A5? So something like that. In a sketchbook like this, it would work really well. I'm trying to, no, I don't have anything here in the one that I finished, so let me just try and find it for you. So you can see you have enough space to create a small one here, and then you can do something like that. So I have created 3 levels. You can skip one of them if you wanted to, and then just, you know, do that, or even altogether. When you're lining them out, just don't line the lines if you don't want to, and you want to have like a full let me just show you what I mean. So if you wanted like this sort of a space, you could do that as well. Okay, and then we have the bigger swatch, which is just a single element, but you can connect them, so you can use them singular like this, letting color flow into one another, or you can connect them as I think I had it here somewhere. Yes, so you can create like a larger version of this thing here. And you can obviously, because it's a singular, you can make even more or less, it's up to you. Then we have this one, which is that. It's got 5 sections in there. You could again stamp them next to each other to make 10 or 15, whichever way you wanted to extend it if you wanted to. They can be used this way, or they can be used that way, like I've done here. You can flip them. Here's a full pan, so I quite often like to create a neat looking, this is me thinking about myself here, but I always like to create neat looking swatch cards for things like Sismal, Roman Sismal watercolors and White Knights. So these are the ones I use in full pans, and it's just so easy to just stamp these. Give yourself a bit of space to write down the names of the colors, and you know, it looks so pretty. It looks like you actually like illustrated it. Also good thing to do is Liz Steele. She does, she's an urban sketcher, and she documents all of her kind of color palettes that she likes to use when she has a trip. And so you could document that exact watercolor palette that you're using, and it would be so much neater and cleaner to do that with. And of course I've done the same for the half pans. So I've got my Schminke half pans full set, so I could do that for. And what else? And then I've done also double. So if you wanted a faster approach to creating like a lot of the colors in one go, you could use the doubles, and whenever it's an uneven number, just, you know, follow with a single behind it. So you could stamp them out faster. And then the final one is this little guy here, which I actually quite like for mini palettes. So if I wanted to, for instance here, create a mini palette somewhere, and I'm working in a small sketchbook, these are great for using that them in the smaller format of a sketchbook. And they're also great for pencils, because I tend to make smaller swatches for the pencils rather than watercolors, but equally you can do them with watercolor as well. And of course, because it's a single, you could do all sorts of shapes and, you know, palettes and whatever takes your fancy, really. So I played around here with some layering of the pencils. You probably would want to know when they will be available. Well, I'm thinking I will launch them when my son starts school, so that should be early September. Just because I don't want to push myself. You know, it's just a couple of weeks or less than 2 weeks left now of the summer holidays, and I just don't want to be dealing with that now. I just want to enjoy the last bit of the summer holidays that we have together. There's a super annoying fly now. Okay, so back to where we were. Yeah, when were this available? So in the beginning of September. And there will be another stamp set, which is this one here. I don't have many examples to show you just now, but I will do it in the launch video, I guess. So basically this girl here, I have designed not with this face, there's a different face to her. Where is it? Can't quite think of it, but anyway, so this is the moving doll, and this is what it looks like. So basically I have changed up the shape of the face from the previous one, and I have given kind of 3 types of body. So you can rotate the body to one side, another side, and front. And what you can also do is you can use slightly wider, slightly slimmer pieces of thighs, and longer or shorter calves, and it's sort of like for you to build the body, but it can basically look like your doll is moving and dancing. And here is just a few examples of them, and here's the face that you can create. This time I have made the eyes to be separated, so they're not in one strip, but this way you can basically tilt them up and down to create, you know, different style of a face. So here are the eyes slightly tilted up, eyes are straight, and eyes are kind of coming a bit down. And also you can navigate the space between the eyes. So here you can see they're a lot closer. Sorry if you couldn't see that. And here they are a lot wider. And so, yeah, you can totally do that. And then if you wanted to, if you had the first set, which has sold out, you could use the head on this body as well. It's supposed to have a smaller body and like a big head that would be easily fitting in your A5 journal together with the hair. And also, yeah, if you wanted to make the body longer, I will show you how to do that. You could extend it, and I'll basically explain everything to you in that launch video. This is just to give you a heads up of the update that's happening. And then finally I've done the Ecoline liquid watercolor video and the Daler-Rowney acrylic inks, all of the swatches of my colors. But since I've done this video, I think I ordered a couple more of the Ecolines, so I might just add a few swatches here or something. And that is it. So that's all of my sketchbook. I hope you enjoyed the flip through. It's a lot longer than I thought it would be, but nonetheless, I hope it would inspire you in one or many ways. And yeah, that is it for today. Thanks for watching and see you soon.